Sustainability, it became such a word that really means nothing. It's so greenwashed that people don't understand even what that means.
What do you think companies miss out on by not having a clear pathway into regeneration, into sustainability?
Employees certainly have a choice of where they can go and they want meaning in their life. There's a lot of corner cutting in the textile industry.
How do you go about this? Welcome, listeners. I am Seth Wishman, your host of the DoGood Insider, where we dive deep into raw and meaningful conversations with visionary founders and CEOs who see beyond profits, elevating the lives of employees and vendors and the planet we call home. Today's guest is Kat Day, co-founder and president of Ettitude, a groundbreaking material science company revolutionizing home goods with sustainability at its core. Under Kat's leadership, Ettitude has become a certified B Corp, setting new standards in sustainability business practices with their patented clean bamboo technology. From redefining luxury bedding in bath linens to promoting ethical and eco-conscious innovation, Kat's journey is a masterclass in aligning values with impacts. In this episode, we will explore Kat's operational challenges, the evolution of her company's mission, and how she's tackling sustainability while inspiring change across the textile industry. Get ready for an insightful conversation packed with practical lessons and powerful takeaways from one of today's most dynamic leaders. So welcome, Kat. I would love to start by sharing with our listeners today the reason why I invited you. And, I don't come across this all that often, that a company like Ettitude has such a big focus on the regenerative nature of your vision. Talk us through what is the ethos behind Ettitude? What are you guys doing? How are you guys changing the textile industry?
Yeah, so we're actually a next generation materials innovation company. This means that we're making new fabrics out of plants in processes that are better for you and better for the planet. And then we apply these technologies to our own brand, as well as support the apparel industry with these new technologies. Our brand, Ettitude, stands for Eco Attitude. It's Ettitude, Ettitude. And it's always been in our brand DNA to sustain the environment, to go beyond just sustaining, but also regenerating. And the way that we think about regenerating is regenerating yourself through better health, better sleep, using better products so that you can be powerful in making change in the world, but also regenerating our planet. So being sustainable is not enough anymore. It's just keeping status quo. That's what sustainability at this time kind of means. And it became such a word that really means nothing. And it's so greenwashed that people don't understand even what that means. So we really focus on regeneration, doing better, leaving the planet better than what we found it, in what position we found it, by using these new technologies and applying this philosophy to everything that we do here at Ettitude.
Yeah, it's amazing. When I talk to founders, to similar sized companies, a lot of times I don't see this kind of vision standing in the foreground the way it is with Ettitude, right? And the way you guys live and breathe it. You are certified B Corp and you mentioned greenwashing. Talk us through, how do you guys tackle this notion of greenwashing and really communicate to your stakeholders and customers that, there's a brand really living and breathing what you promise around being regenerative to the world we live in?
Yeah, I think for us, what's important is just making sure that any statements that we make are always backed up by third-party validated agencies, by data. We never just claim something without having, a third-party validated. And that's been very important because there's many claims we would have loved to make too, but we hold ourselves back and say no until we have the exact measurement that we've paid for. Like, you actually have to spend money to get this validation. Even though we know it's true, we still need to invest and get that validation in order to actually say it. And I think that's the most important difference in companies that are truly sustainable is when they're investing in that effort versus when they're just claiming it on their website or on their product.
And yet, so many companies, kind of claim this piece around greenwashing, right? So yeah, I really appreciate you guys really living and breathing what you promise. Talk us through a little bit the certification on B Corp, right? It's a big, stamp or a big line in the sand that you guys have drawn, right? Not to go after other corporations that you could have been registered via. What has been the reason? Obviously, it's aligned with the ethos of the company. Are there any other operational reasons, or is it really just to, I guess, make a statement for your stakeholders, customers, for yourself? Or what has been the reason why you have been certifications or after certifications regarding B Corp?
Yeah, so we chose B Corp because it's more than just about sustainability. It's really more about all standards of your business. So making sure that your operations are ethical at the highest level, and sustainability is a component of that. But I think it communicates so much more. Also for us, it gave us a framework on how we want to improve our business. So it actually measures how you're doing. And it's a very detailed form that you need to fill out. There are lots of different policies that we needed to implement that we didn't have in place before. And we did it because of the B Corp certification. For example, making sure that every single supplier in our operation signs a code of conduct, and there are certain policies that they need to abide by. We didn't have that before the certification process. So we really liked the fact that it kind of gave us the roadmap to move in the direction that we wanted to go into, but didn't necessarily have the tools to do that. So B Corp was great, and it's been 3 years. So now we're actually recertifying for the next 3 years, and our score is improving. So that means that we've made progress and, really achieved the things that we said we would achieve in our previous statement. So we're just really proud of how far we've come. Being a very small company in this sort of crazy market, it's up and down, but we always prioritize making sure we do business the right way.
Yeah, I totally agree. Talk us through what I'm really curious to understand for myself, and hope also the listeners may see value in that conversation. You guys, again, live and breathe the ethos around regeneration, right? And what it means as a brand to fully stand behind that. What do you think companies that maybe don't register as a B Corp to have that understanding around process and really understanding what it means to, protect the environment and so on? But also beyond this, what do you think companies miss out on by not having a clear pathway into regeneration, into sustainability, maybe regarding sales, maybe regarding internal employee engagement? What do those companies miss out on, do you think?
Yeah, I think certainly the things that you mentioned, they are missing out on it. I think the world is moving towards more transparency, and consumers are demanding companies to do better. And employees certainly have a choice of where they can go. And that's what especially the new generation is looking for. They want meaning in their life. And if they're working for a company where their values don't align, they're not going to last there for too long. They're just going to lose motivation. They're going to leave and find something else. So I think for us, I've actually personally been working for and then starting companies and leading companies that are mission focused, because I realized what a huge impact that could make on personal motivation. And for example, when I before becoming an entrepreneur, I worked at Weight Watchers, WW, and I personally experienced how amazing it is, how motivating it is to work for a company that is working on a positive mission, which is educating people to eat healthier and have a healthier lifestyle. So it was awesome to see the impact on the customers. And even if you're doing something as a cog in a machine in a big corporation, if you're seeing that impact, it makes you feel more motivated to continue to do what you're doing, to improve the product, to improve the services, whatever it is. And I wanted to make sure that whatever businesses I'm leading in the future, we have that positive impact. And so I think for sure, employee motivation is something that companies are missing out on. And today, sustainability is such a big topic and is on top of mind, especially for younger generations. You need to address that. And in general, being an ethical business, I think, is very important, even when it's not related to the environment. How do you treat your employees? How do you treat everybody in your supply chain and your entire operations? That's a big topic as well.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about kind of strategy, operations. I know that I think you mentioned during the pandemic that there was a huge shift in the way Ettitude focus or refocus on bedding and textiles. Talk us through that a little bit. Kind of what kind of caused that? What were you struggling that kind of caused this decision? Talk us through this shift a little bit.
Yeah, so our first application of our textile technology was for our own consumer brand, which is a bedding brand. Originally did start with bed sheets. And that's the reason I joined the brand, is because the bed sheets are amazing. And when my co-founder... You love sleeping. I love sleeping. We all love sleeping. Yeah. I wish we all had more time for sleep, but even if you don't, making sure that it's good quality sleep. So for me, that's really what inspired me to join Ettitude as a co-founder, because I absolutely love the product. I had the best sleep of my life and continue to have really good sleep. And I just felt the difference immediately. And I was really excited about the technology too, which is why I joined in the first place. So we started with bedding, and we've really kind of established our brand, and our product kept improving with customer feedback. And also customers kept saying, wow, your material just feels amazing against my skin. Like, I love not just sleeping in your bed sheets, but I'm starting to just take your flat sheet and just wear it. Can you guys make some apparel? Can you guys make some towels? Like, what else can you make out of this amazing textiles? So we started to expand into different categories based on what customers asked us to do. And we ended up, with a pretty wide assortment of things, because we just wanted to test it out and, see what works and what doesn't work. So during COVID, we did expand quite a bit into apparel and made a beautiful loungewear line. But it launched, I would say, right at the time when there was just too much loungewear on the market. And we realized, okay, it's actually a completely different business to make apparel versus making home textiles, home goods. And there's fit involved, it ballooned our inventory to different styles, different sizes, making sure that the fit is fitting people. So there are a lot of learnings. We actually had to hire absolutely different talent in order to launch this line. So we realized that, okay, this is quite a challenging industry and requires a completely new set of expertise. What we'd like to do actually as experts in textiles is to support the fashion brands. They have the expertise, they have the distribution channels, they know the beat of the trends. They can do the designs way better than what we can. There are trends in home, but they're not quite as fast as in fashion. So we launched our B2B business where we sell our textiles and support the apparel industry with their sustainability initiatives so that they can replace their unsustainable toxic materials that unfortunately it dominates the industry today with better alternatives. So that's what we're doing now, and it's exciting. It's amazing. We can make so much bigger of an impact by partnering with very large apparel brands that every one of us has heard of and consumed. So it's very exciting.
Remind the chat we had just prior to our podcast here, I shared with you that I wear bamboo underwear, and you mentioned that bamboo's not like bamboo, right? First of all, curiosity, have you also made bamboo for men, bamboo textile underwear only for women? And second question, talk us through the different styles of bamboo that are out there and how you guys differentiate in it.
Yeah, so just starting with what exactly do we do? What are these cool textiles that we're making? And it really did start with bamboo. So our flagship signature textile is called Clean Bamboo. We start with organic FSC certified bamboo that's grown, and we trim the tops so it's a regenerative resource as a feedstock. And then we process it in a very clean process that is healthy for the environment. There's no toxic chemicals. You can put your hands in our solution. Nothing will happen to your hands. And it's a closed loop system, which means that we recycle the water 200 times, meaning that 98% of it actually gets recycled. And the 2% gets released as clean water into the in the environment. So that's been the main innovation, because what's currently on the market, of course, you're familiar with, the majority of apparel is made with synthetics, polyester. And then there's natural materials, and then there's semi-synthetic, or man-made cellulosic, which is basically taking plants and turning them into fabrics. But unfortunately, a lot of that so far has been a pretty chemically intensive process. So man-made cellulosic so far, like the bamboo fibers you would see, like bamboo viscose, have been chemically processed, and it kind of cancels out the benefit of starting with a regenerative feedstock with bamboo in the first place when you're ruining it with toxic chemicals. So we've solved that problem. We said, okay, let's take the best plant on earth, literally, which is bamboo, and then process it in the best process possible to make high quality, high performance textiles that are more durable, that are better breathable, they're better at maintaining their appearance over a long term, they're better at moisture wicking, all the things that people actually want in finished goods without the heavy chemicals. So clean bamboo is our main textile and our main fiber. There's so much more that we've done with it. So first we kind of applied it to the bedding industry, making a very silky, soft, beautiful, breathable, moisture wicking fabric that is ideal to sleep in. Then we've expanded into kind of towels, a waffle texture that's really great at wicking away moisture and drying. So I love our hair towel, for example. It's just perfect for hair. Great for textured hair as well. People who want that moisture wicking aspect, but also don't want the smell of mildew. So that's kind of what you get with clean bamboo. And then we've expanded into cashmere-like properties. So we launched plant cashmere, so our vegan cashmere made with clean bamboo fibers.
Quick question,
feels
cashmere
so wonderful.
is bamboo?
No, cashmere is a
No, it's not.
goat hair. So it's made from goat
okay,
hair.
that's very good.
Yeah, so cashmere sweaters, for example, they feel really nice and luxurious. It's a very fine hair from a specific goat, but it is an animal-based product. And some people are allergic to it. It's also expensive. It's also degrading the environment, where the goats are overgrazing the lands. Unfortunately, has issues of that. So we created a plant-based alternative to cashmere and wool. And we use that both in our B2B. We support the apparel industry with that if they want to replace their animal-based cashmere. But also we have in our own brand, you can buy our vegan cashmere throw blanket. And it's just so soft and so wonderful and really great. Cozy, especially in the winter. Great gift as well. So that's another textile that we invented. There's just so much that we're doing because we want to use this technology to better the world.
Hearing your talk, I just want to jump back in beds with your bedding and just experience it. But maybe that's for another day. That's amazing. Your passion and your just vision and interest for the product itself just really oozes. So that is really great to hear somebody talking about one's products in such alive ways that make me feel just want to jump back in bed. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk us through a little bit.
If it's possible, I actually want to complete the thought process around the different textiles out there, because you actually asked me if we make men's underwear. That's how we started.
Yeah.
So eventually men's underwear will be made with Ettitude's materials, but today we do not, unfortunately. So I would say your options today for health are literally, most of what's going on is synthetics. Really not good. It's not breathable. It's made from fossil fuels. It's not sustainable because we're continuing to rely on fossil fuels. A lot of them have, chemicals that are proven to disrupt the endocrine system, and also microplastic pollution. That's a big issue with synthetics. Then there's natural materials, which is about 40% of the textile industry. So that includes primarily plant materials, and the majority of that is cotton. So about 30% is cotton. And then the rest is, animal materials, silk, wool, cashmere, etc., and then man-made cellulosics. So why cotton is not great? Unfortunately, cotton is grown with pesticides. It's so overfarmed. It's been, an industrial production for a long time, monocropping causing so many issues, but also the pesticides, obviously you don't want that on your skin. So for people who are very conscious about health and making sure that they're eating healthy, breathing clean air, drinking clean water, textiles is the next level. You want to make sure that you're wearing products that are not treated chemically and not grown with pesticides. So organic cotton today is kind of the healthiest option, but unfortunately it's not quite sustainable because it requires even more water and even more land to grow organic cotton. And also it's just more expensive because you need more time and more resources to grow it. And so unfortunately, it's just like not a solution to our main textile problem. It's kind of a small solution for the elite who can afford organic cotton at the moment. So hoping that with new technologies, we can really bring to market something that can be super sustainable and healthy.
Great. That is amazing. Again, great to hear your insights, your knowledge about this. And, unfortunately, the end consumer like myself, we have no idea, right? It's bamboo. Isn't it all the same, right? And I think it's your job then to re-educate, which is such a tricky stance because it is a huge industry, probably comparable, very small to cotton. But I would love to know, those decisions, right, around being first, looking first at sustainability, looking first at the regenerative nature of your products, looking at the processes that you have to implement. In my mind, that is probably the more expensive route to take, right? Versus cutting corners and kind of producing this cheaply. Kind of how do you balance right now kind of the economics, the commercial side of your business versus always looking at quality first and not cutting corners? How do you go about this?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a brand decision. Are they going after kind of mass market, huge volume? Doesn't matter what the impacts are, and it's just about volume. And unfortunately, volume. You need low price points. That's the Temus of the world. Temu, Shein. For them, it's all about getting the lowest price possible, and there's a lot of corner cutting going on in those situations. And as a consumer, it's really tempting to get a T-shirt for $3. You can't see online, what all the hidden costs of that product. Versus a brand that wants to go in the other direction, wants to create a high quality product that's better for health, better for the environment, better for the workers, in which case that needs to be part of overall ethos. At the same time, we still need to make a product that is affordable and that people can actually, make a decision around, and it's not a difficult financial decision for them. And so for us, it's been about how do we emphasize the performance aspects of it and how good it is for you. And at the same time, making sure that people can really afford it. So our product is actually priced pretty market competitively to organic cotton sheets. And we wanted to make sure, okay, if people are in the market for sheets and they care about health, we want to make sure that it's the same price point or lower.
That is so interesting, right? Because the common notion that I would say, what I'm hearing out there is that, we have to be competitive. Yes, let's keep one eye on vision, but we have to make sure we are profitable, right? And what I'm hearing from you is that it actually is possible or more than possible to produce a premium product that pretty much not just outperforms, but that goes in the opposing side to the cheap production cost, I guess, right? What is your message, I guess, to companies about the possibility that, you can think premium and it doesn't have to be necessarily, at a price class where you kind of outbid yourself from competition?
Yeah, so I would say we're still in the, higher end, but affordable higher end price point. So our sheets, we have two lines. One is made in Peru, very high quality, more denser sheets. And they start at $500 per sheet set versus we have our signature sateen sheet set, which is made from clean bamboo, the one that I fell in love with and so airy and beautiful and just so breathable. That starts at about $300 per sheet set. So there is also, an option that we want to give people where they're very competitive to similar sets in our market, like other brands. I don't want to name the other brands, but if you're shopping for sheets, you're going to be seeing very similar price points across the board. So we wanted to be in that same range, but there are two ranges now for us. There's a higher premium range and there's a kind of average range. We're definitely not in the, sort of Amazon quality, low quality range, which you can get sheets for $20 to $30. They're probably going to be synthetic and not feel very good against your skin, or just you're going to be sweating and just overall not a great experience. But, that exists in the market. There's a place for it too.
And maybe my message for the audience, to not go with the almost traditional notion, believing that, to be competitive, you have to only compare, you only, compete on price, right? So my message for myself and for the audience is probably to keep an open mind, look at what's possible to produce to the highest standards, of course, while keeping an eye on, kind of how we price, to not kind of outprice ourselves. But it sounds like it starts with a decision. Would that be fair to say, of how you want to position yourself in the market?
Correct. Yeah, I think it's also about which segment of customers are you going after. The people who value, what you're doing will pay the right price for it. If it's important to them, they will spend the money because, for example, in our case, it's important for people to sleep on healthy textiles. And so for them, if you divide the cost of, let's say $500 for 2 years, which average people change their sheets every 2 years, that's $1 a night or less. So if you value your sleep, if you value your health, then it's really not a big price to pay. And there's sheet sets out there for $2,000, $5,000. There's a customer for that too, and they like the brand, the social signaling that comes with it. They're really paying for the luxury brand, not necessarily the product itself. So there are just different segments in the market, and you need to decide as a founder, as a business leader, which segment are you going after? How does that product fit into those segments?
Excellent. My last question is about culture at Ettitude. Being a company that is so vision focused on how you use material to be regenerative, how do you make sure that that type of vision, which is so crucial to your brands, because it is a product, how do you make sure that this is aligned with the way you hire, the internal kind of communications piece around the ethos of the company, for them making sure that everyone sings of the same song sheet?
Yeah, so first, even early stage, a few years ago, we worked on our mission, vision statements and values. And those values are something that we still have today in our onboarding documents for all new employees, but also that's how we interview for those values. And for us, the values are sustainability, no surprise, which is both environmental sustainability, but also business sustainability, well-being, supporting the whole person, making sure that, we have a diverse team and this is a place that values diversity. Ownership, we are a startup. It's still an early stage company. It's a very small team. Want to make sure that everybody is doing their best and owns the areas that they actually own. So that's been really important to find people who are self-starters, entrepreneurial, can manage big workloads and, just have a passion for this and are responsible. The last three are innovation, transparency, and belonging. So as a material innovation company, that's something that we have to have. Innovation, not just from a product perspective, but across all of our work streams. We're looking to use new technologies. We are starting to use some AI tools as well in our processes to streamline things, which makes sense. I think every business should. But innovation really across everywhere, constantly trying to improve the way we do things. Transparency is both internal transparency and external transparency. We publish a impact report every year where we are being very transparent with the public about what we set out we would do, what we actually achieved, what we didn't achieve. Maybe there were issues that we encountered, lessons that we learned, and also our vision for the future. I think that's really important as a sustainable brand or any brand. I hope every brand starts to publish these types of reports, but also we're very transparent with our internal team. We actually share our financials across the entire company, all levels, and challenges that people need to be aware of. And then belonging, inviting differences, because that's where we think we get the best ideas through that diversity. So values, very important to establish. When we interview, myself and my co-founder, we actually interview all of the potential candidates for each role, no matter what level. We want to make sure that after, people are qualified for actual qualifications by the hiring managers, that they will be a good fit here and the values align. And we also put every Friday, we send out an email to our entire team about what has been achieved in a week. And we actually align it with the values and the pillars of our strategy so that everybody in the company actually understands what we're working towards. So I think that's been really key. These little processes that we've put in place several years ago, we're still doing them.
Kat, that has been such an enlightening conversation. Thank you so much. As the founder of DoGood, the way we started the company is really looking at companies that have a vision beyond profit. And I just want to thank you for being, somebody that is certainly leading the crowd, if you will, not just with the way how Ettitude, shows transparency. I know that you do that internally and externally. I really appreciate the way you really put yourself forwards, to not cutting corners, to making sure you are regenerative and you really deliver on your promises. So it has been such a wonderful conversation to listen about your vision and all that good stuff. So thank you so much. And to the listeners, check them out. Again, I can't wait to get a good night's sleep. So I hope you do too. Take care. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.